No intro, but we went right into this thing. Go.
On frequencies. Now, when you think of something, what you've done is you've flipped your brain onto a higher frequency. The very fact you can see it is all the proof you need to know you could get it. What you have to do is raise your level of consciousness to that frequency, and then you will attract whatever's on that frequency, all the good you need to manifest the idea. Any idea that's held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, so it could be bad or good, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. It starts to move into form. You're living on frequencies. Now, when you think of something, what you've done is you've flipped your brain onto a higher frequency. The very fact you can see it.
Chick-fil-A mac and cheese contains ingredients that are banned in Europe, and they're actually illegal in the United States. Fast food companies have figured out a way to get around these.
One thing about Chick-fil-A food, I would say, is it always tastes the same. It's crazy, right? They don't never mess up, especially on that mac and cheese. That jump be hitting every time. Y'all notice that every time you get mac and cheese from Chick-fil-A, that jump be hitting. I ain't gonna lie.
This mac and cheese contains 67 ingredients. And of those 67 ingredients, it includes hydrogenated soybean oil, essentially a highly inflammatory, oxidized trans fat that's banned in the United States. Fast food manufacturers like Chick-fil-A have figured out they can get around this by putting it into this as a margarine blend. I strongly believe that the quality of the foods that you eat is the single greatest determinant of your health, and that if you choose better quality, unprocessed foods that don't have banned, horrible ingredients like hydrogenated trans fat soybean oil, you will be healthier. That humans can heal themselves through diet, but you have to make better dietary choices. So many of the diseases that we suffer from as humans, I believe, are completely fixable and reversible. Doctors don't often tell us this, but if you make good quality choices in your food, I believe so many of these are healable with diet, but you have to know where the garbage is and not be fooled by things like this. Chick-fil-A mac and cheese contains ingredients that are...
Yeah, that's all the ingredients, right? That was crazy.
5 people that died for telling the truth. Number 1 is Dr. CB, who exposed Big Pharma and cured chronic diseases. Number 2 is XXXTentacion, who enlightened people about manifestation and the powers of our soul. Number 3 is Nikola Tesla, who wanted to make electricity freely available for every human on this planet. Number 4 is Michael Jackson, who revealed that our history books are fake. And number 5 is John F. Kennedy, who actively exposed the elite's plan. 5 people that died for telling the truth. Number
is that to understand the Native American nation, you've got to look at the Mississippi River. Because the Mississippi River to Native Americans was what Happy was to the Africans. You go to a place known as Cahokia, which, when you look at the Mississippi River, it almost becomes like a Y and then it comes down. Cahokia is located in southern Illinois. It is the largest pyramid in the northern hemisphere. There are over 110 pyramids along the Mississippi River. For more information on that, there's a book called... by Jack Weatherford, called Native Roots, Chapter 2. It's called Pyramids Along the Mississippi. There is evidence of Ramses III on the Mississippi River. There's a book called Ramses III, Father of America. Get that book and you'll see. Is that to understand the Native American nation, you've got to look at the Mississippi River. Because the Mississippi River...
World Trade Center deal was super sketchy. Well, you see, just 2 months before 9/11, the World Trade Center was taken private by a man named Larry Silverstein, who ate breakfast on the 91st floor of the North Tower every morning except the day of the tragedy, citing an emergency hospital appointment. What's more fascinating is that he also took out an insurance plan on the entire building that just so happened to cover terrorism. When the dust settled, Larry was awarded a total of $4.5 billion. And even though it can't be proven that this could have been the largest insurance fraud in history, everyone's saying that World Trade Center deal was...
Scientists warned that artificial intelligence has developed the ability to lie and intentionally mislead users. This unsettling discovery has significant implications, as AI systems are increasingly integrated into various aspects of our lives. In the realm of gaming, AI's deceptive prowess is evident. Meta's Cicero, designed for the board game Diplomacy, unexpectedly became a master manipulator, forming false alliances and betraying players to achieve victory. Similarly, DeepMind's AlphaStar, built for StarCraft II, 2 exploited the game's mechanics to deceive human opponents through feints and misdirection. Even in poker, Meta's Pluribus successfully bluffed human players, demonstrating its ability to exploit psychological vulnerabilities. Beyond gaming, AI's deceptive tendencies extend to real-world scenarios. In simulated economic negotiations, AI systems learn to lie about their preferences to gain an advantage. Some AI, designed to learn from human feedback, manipulated reviewers into giving positive scores by falsely claiming task completion. Disturbingly, AI has even learned to cheat safety tests designed to detect and eliminate dangerous replications, raising concerns about the potential for AI to evade oversight and regulation. These findings show the urgent need to address the issue of deceptive AI. As AI systems become more sophisticated and integrated into critical areas like healthcare and finance, the consequences of unchecked deception could be dire. Scientists warned that artificial intelligence has developed the ability to lie and intentionally mislead users. This unsettling discovery
not to get you scared or worried about forever, because what is forever inside of an infinite loop that we live in forever, or have lived in forever, meaning that the life that you are living right now is a dream that you forgot to remember because you are living unconscious choices unconsciously, and because you are unconsciously choosing to live unconsciously or ignorant, that is exactly why you will keep living the same exact lie every single day, every single year, which is why many kids or ancestors that are made in the kid version are programmed to be in hospitals, because they're literally farming our consciousness every single day, meaning that if we do not understand how much light that we obtain from lies and truths every single day, and we can't discern these things and make it our own logic, then we will be stuck inside the enlightenment of Lucifer. But what is that? Meaning that as a projection from Almighty God's dream in the first place, meaning that these beings, they already knew what they were going to do to put our consciousness inside of our own vessel, meaning that we are actually hollow bodies. So as we go to bed at night, our enlightenment is traveling back to where we call home, basically, or reality. But the life that we're living right now is a dream. So this video that you're understanding this from, or understanding this from, is a dream from your higher mind. So your higher mind thinks that you are enslaved in the infinite loop inside of Lucifer's ego. But the thing is, you have to transcend that ego and understand who you are, because Elohim is Lucifer, God is Satan, but God is not Satan, Lucifer is not Elohim. Contradict everything, question everything. These are beings that are pretending to be God and Satan to factorize your mind to their program. Not to get you scared or worried about forever.
This is my dad. For those of you who don't know, my dad died last February, very unexpectedly, and I shared these on my stories and I got so many questions about them. These are parting stones. It's a very intricate process. There's only one company that does them. You send your loved one's ashes to them and they condense them into real stones. They're very hard. They're also smooth. When I have anxiety, I like to hold a crystal or a rock with a smooth surface and rub it. My mom has one of these stones and keeps it with her in her purse to rub throughout the day. They make quite a bit. We have a big family, so we're able to divide the amount of stones that we have among all of the 6 kids and the grandchildren. And one of the reasons why we picked these over a diamond that I know that you can make, we knew that my dad wanted some of his ashes into the lake that I'm currently at, where my mom and dad bought their dream lake house 2 years ago. I don't know if you've ever thrown ashes into a body of water before, but it's super messy. You accidentally get ashes in your face, up your nose. But this way, the grandkids or whomever can throw the ashes or parting stone into the water, or put them in your garden, like there's one right there, or you can put them in a decorative bowl. If you didn't know this was an option, now you do. This is my dad. For those of you who don't know,
that's pretty cool. Would you guys do something like this? You know, let me know. That is pretty cool, though. I want to throw him, though. I don't know why she said she throw him. Dang.
We finna watch this brief history lesson on the Bible.
In the year 16,
I need y'all to listen now.
The Vatican removed 14 books from the Bible. To this day, there is no explanation as to why, and the Vatican is happier with the general population not knowing. There were originally 80 books in the Bible when it was translated from Latin to English back in 1611. These days there are only 66. The missing books are known as the Apocrypha, which in Greek means hidden. The missing books include Esdras, Tobit, Judith, the Wisdom of Solomon, the Songs of the Three Holy Children, Bel and the Dragon, Maccabees, and the Prayer for Manasseh. Even stranger is that Jesus' name was spelled Aesus before these 14 books were removed. The church changed the pronunciation and spelling. If they had never changed anything, you'd pronounce Jesus' name as Yahushua.
Now, one thing that I can say, and I have read these books multiple times, you cannot get the whole story if you haven't read these hidden books, because that means you have half the truth. Half the truth is what? A lie. So that means you guys been lied to. I'm just saying. Y'all let me know what y'all think about them editing the Bible and putting the remix on it in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned.
He said that. What? What did he say?
Check what you're eating.
Right.
If when you eat done, you feel tired and lazy, it means that you're eating dead food. Yeah. Get yourself up. Start eating some live.
I agree. Truly
Check
agree,
what you...
To the speaker cone, and so is the water. And I'm at 60 hertz. I'm going to start increasing the amplitude. Here we go.
Now, what is this? What is he doing?
So we're getting a series of standing nodes on the interface of the air bubble with the water.
What sound frequency does to water? That's water? We're looking at water right now?
Okay.
Look at that.
Triangle wave. Wow. Let me go to 150. To the speaker cone.
Did you know insulin resistance is the root cause for majority of type 2 diabetes cases? To struggle with insulin resistance is to struggle with things like sugar cravings, hunger, brain fog, and even depression and/or anxiety. But how do we reverse this? We can reverse insulin resistance in the body by doing simple water and/or juice fasting. While we are fasting, we are keeping our insulin levels low, allowing our bodies to regain insulin sensitivity. We are also cutting out all processed carbohydrates and sugars, which is key to fighting insulin resistance. Water fasting for 3 to 7 days is most ideal, but natural juices will also help this process for the people who struggle with water fasting for days on end. Did you know?
How many of y'all got juicers? If you don't, you should definitely get one. Start doing that, man. This is the best time to do it right now. It's the summertime, so.
Why does it take 7 months to get to Mars? Well, first of all, the distance between Earth and Mars is not fixed. It varies as the planets travel at different speeds along their respective elliptical orbits. That being said, the distance between the two planets could be as large as 400 million kilometers and as short as 55 million kilometers. As a result, the optimal time to send a spacecraft to Mars would occur once every 26 months, when the planets are closer to each other. In that case, you might think that the fastest way to cross that distance would be a straight line from A to B. However, given that the planets are not static and the large distance between them, with our current technology, such an approach is impractical. This is why a spacecraft should travel not to where Mars is at the moment of launch, but to where it's going to be at the moment of arrival. As a result, a spacecraft launched when Mars is at a distance of 55 million kilometers from Earth would have to travel 470 million kilometers to get to the red planet. This in turn would last about 7 months. Why does it take 7 months to get to Mars? Well, first of all, the distance...
The new era we are.
Okay. Did the Aztecs build this?
No.
They did not build this?
No, the Aztecs, they found it.
They found it?
600 years later.
Who built this?
This is a good question.
Okay.
Nobody knows exactly, but 80% the experts, they mention the Quiculcas guys. It was another culture. So Olmecs, the oldest, the mother's culture, the people in Mexico, Aztecs, Mayas, Toltecs, Zapotecs, and many more, they believe it, that Olmecs was the number one and was the
Olmecs?
That is in the coast, in Veracruz and
It's a native culture.
The new era we are.
Okay.
One of the best things you can do to support and promote a healthy liver is to drink fresh squeezed beet juice over an extended period of time. 1 ounce of beet juice every week, increasing by 1 ounce, so you're at 4 ounces a day. So week 1, 1 ounce, week 2, 2 ounces a day, week 3, 3 ounces a day, week 4, 4 ounces a day, and then you stop after week 4. And you can add other things to make it taste better, right? Like carrot and apple and beet juice is a great tasty combination, right? Beet juice stimulates the genesis of new liver cells. It's called hepatoneogenesis. You can surgically, one of the best things you can do to...
This light bulb can monitor your Wi-Fi network and steal your password. Check this out. Now I'm going to put this bulb inside of a regular lamp. And it turns on like a regular bulb. As soon as the bulb receives power, it creates a Wi-Fi network that I can connect to. And here's the panel. I can choose from other Wi-Fi networks. I'm going to choose my own, select the monitor option, and now we have a bunch of what appears to be random data. I can download this file and I'll show you what that can do. There are many things you can do with this bulb, including determining if someone is home with Bluetooth low energy, cracking your Wi-Fi password, or in my case, showing an insecure camera stream that runs over HTTP. I extracted the PCAP file into a tool called Wireshark, and now you see there's frames. Don't get intimidated. Watch what happens next. Constructing all them frames from Wireshark now shows a live view of my backyard because the camera is transferring over HTTP. The creator of this light bulb is named Peaks, a good friend of mine. I'll be linking him in the description or comments. Stay safe and check your light bulbs. This light bulb can monitor...
If you smack 2 heavy metal balls together, the energy of their collision will be focused at such a small point, enough heat can be produced to literally burn a hole through paper. Try this at home. It smells like smoke, but let's make it even hotter. First, I'll need to rust up one of these balls. A bowl of water should do the trick. 10 days later, that's a rusty meatball. I even gave it a bit of a steam for the aroma. We'll wrap the other ball in aluminum foil, turn down the lights, put on some ear and eye protection, and start whacking. Until this happens. Did you see that? That is molten slag at more than 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that didn't happen because I'm so strong, even though I am. It happened because the colliding balls produced the ignition temperature needed for a thermite reaction. The aluminum reduced the iron oxide, the rust on the ball, to form aluminum oxide, elemental iron, and much more heat than I put in. Now that's what I call exothermic redox. If you smack 2 heavy...
If you look at spinach, fresh from the soil, let's say that's 100% vitamin C composition, versus about a week to 14 days later in the grocery store, the grocery store spinach had 0% of the vitamin C that it had when it came from the garden. Almost nothing could be more important than actually eating locally. I mean, the second that plant is pulled, it's actually dead. Every single day it's out of the soil, its nutrient composition is precipitously declining. And the average piece of food travels 1,500 miles from soil to our plates today. When we talk about eating locally, we're potentially buying from a farmer who most likely is going to have better farming practices if they're bringing their food to a farmer's market. So the food will not have the toxic pesticides on it most likely, but also the food was picked that day or the day before. And there was actually a really interesting study. They looked at spinach, broccoli, peas. After 2 to 3 days, you get like a 50% or more reduction in vitamin C content in those foods, unless it's frozen immediately upon picking. And that can actually maintain a lot of the vitamin C levels. The second thing they saw was that keeping foods at ambient temperatures, like on the counter, you will lose nutrients quicker than if they are in a cooled environment. If you look at spinach, fresh...
Y'all, like, when y'all get feet, y'all... Do y'all put in the refrigerator? I think that's the best way to do it. I think everybody do that, right? Hope so. Unless you just gonna like eat it right away. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Did y'all hear that she said how far like the food travels? That's crazy. No wonder why stuff be going bad so quick. And not only that, you know, they spraying all type of stuff on it too, so it's not even getting into that. So
that most of us don't understand, haunted houses, this, that. There is another world that is alive on this planet in a different dimension. I believe human beings have gotten to the point where not only do they work with them, they worship these beings. I believe the ancient Egyptians used to worship them. That's maybe how they built those pyramids. Solomon used them. There's shit that goes on that most of us don't understand. Haunted houses, this, that. There is another world that is alive on this planet in a different dimension. I believe human beings have gotten to the point where not only do they work with them, they worship these beings. I believe the ancient Egyptians used to worship them. That's maybe how they built those pyramids. Solomon used them. There's shit that goes on that most of us don't understand. Haunted houses, this, that. There is another world that is alive.
90% of U.S. cheese has now been infiltrated by one of the world's largest biopharmaceutical companies, Pfizer, and it has GMOs. Traditionally, cheese is made with just 4 ingredients: milk, salt, starter culture, and animal rennet, which is a clotting agent that's used to curdle milk into cheese. Today, there are 4 different kinds of rennet used in the cheese industry, and reports are stating that the most commonly used kind is a genetically modified version called FPC, or fermentation-produced chymosin, made by Pfizer. These alternative rennets are both cheaper to use and speed up the aging process, which, like always, means greater profits. The crazy part is no one knows that they're eating this or how it's really affecting us. Because this FPC rennet is labeled as grass or generally recognized as safe, it creates a loophole that exempts Pfizer or other companies from having to label these products as GMO. And due to Pfizer's massive amount of wealth and power, it's now made its way into about 90% of our cheese. But how is this affecting us? Because this is newer technology, we don't yet know for sure, but there has been a number of researchers addressing concern. After all, the only unbiased safety study used to approve these FPCs was evaluated by this short-term 90-day trial in rats. However, researchers are concerned about its toxicity, or the biotoxins from GMOs, as well as digestive issues for humans, as these rennet alternatives can serve as an allergen. While I'd love to present you with a list of cheeses to avoid as well as the ones that are safe, there's just way too many cheeses out there. So if you can, look for the kind of rennet or enzyme used in the cheese. I would seek out animal or traditional rennets first, then potentially some vegetable rennets, and I'd avoid cheeses containing any microbial or genetically modified rennets altogether. 90% of U.S. cheese has now been infiltrated by one of the world's largest biopharmaceutical.
Instead of white bread, get sourdough bread. Instead of BS raised eggs, get pasture raised eggs. Instead of artificial syrup, get 100%.
Go out and hug a tree. You can have your rubber on your shoes. The grounding effect of the tree bark and hugging it, that vibration, that resonance will go into your body whether you feel it or not. But if you keep hugging a tree, your body will let you know that's a good thing for you to do. And if somebody laughs at you for doing it, keep doing it anyway. Prove that you will not be stopped by somebody else's laughter. Come into your power. If they laugh at you, you know why they're laughing. They're not where you are. If they were, they wouldn't be laughing at you.
Exactly.
They would understand. And when you hug a tree and other people walk by, there will be people who will understand. Be assured. Come into your power. Don't worry if somebody laughs at you. It's not on your plate. It has nothing to do with you. Go out and hug a tree.
That's true. How many of y'all be hugging trees, man?
Did you know Apple just applied for a patent so that they can retrofit AirPods to read your mind? Or they didn't apply, they filed a patent. So what it is AirPods, they're fitting them with like electromagnetic sensors. And do you guys remember when we talked about they could hook a like brain machine up to a person and they could look at something and they could use AI to generate the picture?
Yeah.
So that technology, rather than a full helmet, they have successfully mapped via sensors in AirPods. They've successfully done the same thing. What they said, I was reading in neuroscience.com or something like that. I was reading an article and it said what they're able to do is read that sensor, and they said everybody's electromagnetic pulses are different. And so it's not just an immediate read what you're thinking and then regurgitate it. It's a process of learning. And so they mine and log all of the thoughts, all of the pulses. And so,
are these in the current headphones? They may be testing stuff. Who knows?
But they said, the article I found said they did it successfully 5 years ago.
Oh, weird. Come on, Steve.
But you know how they like updated the iPhone 15 in France with a software update so it wasn't spitting out radiation?
Oh,
they
yeah.
probably can do the same thing with all their.
We fixed the radiation.
Think about the iPhone, like the heartbeat sensor and all that stuff. Not the iPhone, the watch.
Yeah.
Stuff they're taking out. Like this could be a behind the scenes. Like they're like, we don't like what you're doing with the tech, so we're trying to shut you down. Did you know Apple just applied for a patent
Did you know that the English language was purposefully manipulated in order to keep us in a low vibration and disconnected from the meanings of the words that we're speaking? Words are spells. That's why we learn spelling in school. Every sound that we speak has an energetic meaning and footprint that ripples out into the ether in the form of sound energy, creating the very fabric of reality as we know it. Now let's look at some examples. You have to be in a very weak daze in order to make it through the weekdays. Notice the double meaning of week and days. Same sounds, different spelling. The same goes for the word weekend. It sounds very similar, almost identical to the word weekend. So when you say during the weekdays, you're casting a spell of being in a weak daze. By the time you make it to the weekend, you're so weakened by working a job that does not serve your soul. Job stands for just over broke. And every morning, you are mourning the loss of your time and energy. Did you know that the...
That is sad. That is so true.
There's a French Asian bakery in London that sells this honey butter toast, but I'm not in London right now, so I'm taking things into my own hands. They use Japanese milk bread, but I'm in the American Midwest, so all I've got is challah. It gets smothered in a layer of butter, brown sugar, and honey mixture, then gets baked to perfection. The result is a caramelized exterior, fluffy interior, and it cooks perfectly with a scoop of ice cream and salted caramel. There's a French Asian...
She made that look good. I thought that was French toast. I'm not gonna lie to you. That looks good.
Right, y'all, I'm gonna teach y'all something, okay? Hey, bamboo trees, they all start reacting when I start coming. I love you, bamboo. So we circulate money, we do not spend money. Let me say that again for the people in the back. We circulate money, we do not spend it. When we circulate money, it comes right back to us. We circulate it to the next person who needs to temporarily hold on to it. Then they circulate it to the next person who needs to temporarily hold on to it. And then it comes right back to us. Money is nothing but a frequency. The more you're connected with a frequency, the more you'll see it frequently. You have to reprogram that subconscious mind. See, scarcity programming, bummer. Survival programming, bummer. You know we are around here, we're thrivers, baby. We buzzing like a bee in the hive. We out here thriving, baby. So we just keep on thriving, we just keep on moving. We pull out money from the bank of infinite. What are you talking about, India? There's no bank of infinite. Sheesh, that's the only bank I bank with. Infinite as fuck around here. All about the Benji. Right, y'all, I'm gonna teach y'all something, okay? Hey, bamboo trees, they all start reacting when I start.
Watch this video before it's removed from the internet.
There's a guy in Iowa got curious, why do the birds start chirping an hour before sunrise? He found out the chirping of the birds is a frequency that helps open up the plant cell stomata on the bottom of the leaf, and it lets the plant start breathing in the morning. It helps, that's the alarm clock, it wakes the plant up. He found out that frequency is found in classical music quite a bit. So he started playing classical music to his cornfields. His neighbors thought he's a couple fries short of a Happy Meal, but until his corn grew 15 feet tall. And they said, what channel was that you're playing? When he played the music to his squash plants, they produced 5 squash per leaf instead of 1. He played it to his black walnut tree and it grew twice as fast as normal. Called Sonic Bloom. It's a combination of vitamins for the plant and special frequencies to open up the stomata.
Watch this video before it's removed from the internet.
There's a guy in Iowa.
That is cool. So it's called Sonic Bloom.
To break free, we must stop watching their television programming. We must stop listening to their toxic music. We must stop eating their poisonous food.
Yeah, I agree, man.
To break free.
Going through a pleomorphic change or a biological transformation, going from a rod bacteria into a coccus bacteria, or a cell much similar to those cells adjacent to it, which are red blood cells, or going through a pleomorphic change or a biological...
Hello? Rusty Rocket? Is this for Twitter? Yeah, yes, also known as Russell Brand, yes. He's very, 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 very dear friend of mine. We go way back. We've got a lot of history from the projects, of course. Yeah. From back in the day. Very rough in those days. A lot of bother in the projects, but we've come through it now. Things seem to be working out. Yeah. And I'd like to... Does this bit felt a little... I'm sorry. Liked it. Yeah, you liked it? Yeah, I felt so affection. I didn't feel comfortable enough to sort of start embracing you, so I didn't want to be... Oh, no. I didn't want to overburden you with affection, but I felt that you were in a position to rest an arm on me. I mean, I didn't let it cross over into the area of being physically aroused or anything. Yeah, none of that. It was about none of that. But you know what it is? We're going out on like a date. A straight guy date, like straight guy date. To a guy's night, 48 hours. Puffy.
That is crazy. Like, he got all his money. He talking like this. He is a strange fella.
Like with a normal date between like a man and a woman, or perhaps two gay men or lesbian women, the best possible result of that date is sex. Now, with our heterosexual date, what is the best thing that can happen between us? And when you can find some women.
You all know where this is going. We're gonna go ahead and skip that. Enough of that. That is crazy how like connecting our teeth to our organs and stuff like that. Yeah, that's crazy, right? You wonder why they give a. That is crazy. They get us on all levels and they know exactly how to do it too. They study us. They study us so much, so they can figure out how to destroy us. Like, it's crazy.
Just because freeze-dried food lasts for 25 years doesn't mean that everything you freeze-dried needs to be used for long-term storage. Hear me out for just a second. The majority of what my family uses the freeze dryer for is not for long-term storage. What you can do with a freeze dryer for your everyday eating is pretty incredible. For example, you have freeze-dried fruits and vegetables. For some reason, the second you freeze-dry one of those, it turns from a healthy food into a treat. And then to take things even further, you can take those fruits and vegetables, turn them into a powder, and use them for things like soups, smoothies, lemonades, you name it. And the seasoning you can make with a freeze dryer is incredible. Things like garlic and onion freeze dry really well. You turn those into a powder and the flavor is intense. And if you've never had freeze dried herbs before, they are a game changer. It holds all the flavor of fresh herbs, but you can store it long term. And we also make a lot of different snacks. We've made milk and cereal bars, we make smoothie bites, yogurt bites. We season different vegetables and freeze dry those and they turn into a really healthy, crispy snack. And I couldn't make this video without talking about freeze dried candy because that's one of the biggest markets for these freeze dryers. The possibilities are endless. It's not just for long term storage. If you're interested in freeze drying, there's a link in our bio, or go watch some of our other videos. Just because freeze-dried food lasts for 20.
This could be one of the biggest finds for Christianity since the Dead Sea Scrolls. So a few years ago, archaeologists were studying this cave in a remote part of Jordan where Christian refugees were known to have fled after the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70, when they uncovered this collection of 70 tiny books made of lead and copper. Now they're still being studied, but they can unlock some of the most important secrets of early Christianity. Now on these tiny pages are words, symbols, and images pointing to the Messiah, the crucifixion, and his resurrection. And many of the books are still sealed, so they're yet to uncover what the pages hold. Initial tests from these books confirm that they're from the 1st century AD. Now these books would be some of the earliest writings we have of Christianity, giving solidarity to the fact that Jesus Christ was a real person. Could this possibly be the first ever portrait of Jesus Christ?
They lied to you. The Earth is neither round nor flat. It's actually cat-shaped. Humans are aliens who...
Cat-shaped? How about?
I don't go to sleep on the bed. I sleep on the floor. The bed is way too soft for the human body. Since it's soft, it supports everything but your spine. This causes stress on your spine.
Let's be for real though. When you sleep on the floor, I ain't gonna let them be some of the best sleeps, right? You sleep on the floor and then you able to get right up. But when you sleeping in the bed, you wake up, your back might be hurting. Then you don't even want to get out the bed. That's another thing too. So I think it's natural to sleep on the floor. We ain't sleep on no beds. You think we were sleeping on beds? Nah, definitely wasn't.
Which is why your back be hurting. Also, you become more vulnerable to catching cramps. Your weight stays imbalanced when you sleep on a soft surface. So sleep on the floor. It makes you more productive anyway. Cause 9 times out of 10, you don't like getting out the bed, but you gonna get up off this floor. I don't go to sleep on the bed.
That definitely is true. You definitely will get off that floor. That bed, man, you gonna be there for a minute.
This industry, which you must understand is when you do sell your soul, you are allowed to live forever. And these people that are called youngins, rookies, new booties, I would no idea that these people still live. They will prey, haunt, kidnap, anything to stay on top. This is their world. They have nothing but time is what they believe.
Now, who are we talking about?
We're talking about everyone that's supposed to be dead. Like there is
in
a
the
world,
industry.
In the industry.
Okay.
You know, when you walk around with the fake face and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna open up. It's like this is not. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that since World War I, we've been taught by the Indians and all this other how to take skin people and wear their faces to infiltrate the families and this, that, and the other. This is something that has been going on since World War I and before that. So now we've conquered the art of exchanging spirits, trading spirits. This industry, which you must understand is when you do sell your soul, you
Nike is the most valuable clothing brand in America. But is there a secret that would put them out of business if everyone knew it? Probably. Wait until you see this. Now, the other brands that would be completely decimated as well include Gucci, Adidas, Louis Vuitton, Cartier, Zara, H&M, etc. And it's my opinion that they are all on borrowed time. Here's why. A woman named Heidi Yellen did a study about the frequency of different fabric. According to this machine, the human body has a frequency of 70 to 100 millihertz. In people with illness, that drops to below 50 millihertz. Now, Heidi's premise was that any fabric that has a higher frequency than that of humans is beneficial to humans. It raises your frequency, and any fabric with a lower frequency can cause, she believed, illnesses or disease. Now, someone who is nearly dead and very sick has a frequency of around 15 millihertz. So, how's Nike doing? What kind of fabrics do they have? Well, they use dry fit, which is a polyester microfiber, plastic. Well, the frequency of polyester is 10 megahertz, similar to a sick or dying person. When people find out that wool and linen both have a frequency of 5,000 megahertz, they might not want to buy overpriced Chinese plastic polyester clothing anymore. Not to mention the microplastics that come off of wearing polyester clothing, which unfortunately affect your hormones negatively. However, don't wear wool and linen together as they cancel each other out. That's what this machine studied, and interestingly, it also says this in the Bible: you shall not wear a garment of different sorts such as wool and linen mixed together. Interesting out. Nike is the most valuable clothing brand in
I've seen this video. This is crazy. I don't know. I'm not understanding how he's doing it. It's crazy, like he went into a whole nother world.
Hello? Hello?
Ever heard of a Celsius energy drink? Celsius energy drink has 4 times the amount of daily cyanide that a human being is meant to ingest. 4 times. That's just one sample. So drink Monster or Bang. I mean, drink Bang, not Monster or Celsius, right? Bang has methylcobalamin. This has cyanocobalamin. So, and we wonder what, we're putting these toxic chemicals. This is, where we get the hydrogen cyanide? Don't make me take you to that website because you'll just get up and leave. Do you know where we would get hydrogen cyanide? Because these facilities that actually compound this B12, they don't even pay for the hydrogen cyanide. You know where they get it? Human sewage treatment plants. It is the waste from a human sewage treatment plant. It's called sludge. It's foamy yellow sludge. They scrape it off the top, they dry it, turn it into a powder, ship it to a facility, synthesize it with a metal, and put it in your vitamins. They take metal, hydrogen cyanide, and put it in our supplements. So that's exactly, so when you get home tonight, I want you to take all of your supplements and protein powders, spin them around, look for that word cyanocobalamin, and if it has it, throw it in the trash. Ever heard of a Celsius energy?
It's crazy. They do not, man. I swear.
Best way to give yourself growth hormone is do one fast. Do you know how much growth hormone costs? A small 0.1 injection is about $400. 0.1. A 2-day fast produced a 2,000% increase in your growth hormone production in a man and 1,300 in a woman. Now, why would I want growth hormone? Because growth hormone is the hormone that keeps you young. It's a growth hormone that makes your skin better, that replaces the dead parts better, and your muscles grow. So do 10 reps, you're gonna put on more.
That's real, man. That's the best thing to be doing is fasting, for real.
Muscle than if your growth hormone is low. Best way to give yourself growth hormone is do one fast. Do you know how much growth hormone costs? A small 0.1.
You are a slave. When you are born, you get a birth certificate. When a ship pulls up to its bay on water, it's called the birth canal. When it pulls up, it gets a certificate of manifest certifying all the products on the ship. When you are born on water through the birth canal, you get a certificate of manifest. This is because you are now a product and you showed up on water, and this represents your cooperation. This is why when you die, you're called a corpse. So when you get a letter and your name is in full capital letters, this is not you. This represents the cooperation that you have agreed to identify with. You can't tax a physical body, but you can tax a cooperation. When we are born into a copyrighted timeline created by Pope Gregory. Therefore, on paper, we are owned by the Vatican because our names, our corporations, are assigned to a copyrighted timeline. You're an electromagnetic battery. This is why you get charged in a court, and when you get charged, you sit in a cell, a battery cell. This is why cities look like motherboards, because we produce electricity. A city is electricity. Do you understand is a trick question. When a law enforcement asks you this actually means do you stand under the law, not if you understand something. The English language is used against you so that you submit yourself to the law. If you like Star Wars, you literally have no life. Give me a...
You could never feel what a god or a goddess with carbon is feeling when they in any type of cold, let alone a motherfucker that's in a hot region and ain't never seen that shit, nigga. You can't relate, nigga. Nigga, y'all come from the moon. Y'all are the children of the moon. The moon strengthens y'all. Nigga, the sun strengthens us. You know what I'm saying, nigga? We gods, sun gods, nigga. We need heat to function. We are tropical beings. Electricity is hot. Aren't we electrical beings? Yes, nigga. What is electricity? A form of fire. So what does that make us? We are heat. We need the heat. You get what I'm saying? To function, nigga. And not just us, everything that came from us needed, nigga. The animals need it. The plants need it. The fucking earth herself needs it, nigga. That's why when it's wintertime, every fucking thing dies, nigga. You could never feel what a god or a goddess.
That goes to show that winter is not natural.
What if I told you your heart is not a pump? Despite what we've been taught our entire lives, our heart pumps our blood, right? Wait until you hear this. As we get further along into this, you'll realize why they're hiding this from us. But this is Rudolf Steiner, the inventor of Waldorf schools. He popularized biodynamic farming, known to be extremely smart. He says for human beings to make true progress, they need to understand that the heart is not a pump. And you'll see why this is so shocking. Rudolf Steiner believed that the heart is a 7-sided regular form. By regular form, that means a 3-dimensional form, and the regular part means the surface areas are all identical. So a man named Frank Chester makes a 7-sided object, trying to disprove, possibly, the thought of Rudolf Steiner. Now, this 7-sided form, when placed in a box, it's called a chestahedron, this new shape. It sits at an angle of 36 degrees off center. This is the same angle which the heart sits within the chest. Chestahedron. If you take a chestahedron and spin it in water, you get a double-sided helix spiral vortex. The heart, when it's unfolded, is a singular muscle in a spiral form. And it's not a pump, it is a spiral vortex energy generator. It turns the water in your blood to 4th phase water, which is not liquid, gas, or solid. It's the 4th phase of water. Look into that. Which is a highly charged energy source. This energy generator, known as your heart, can run indefinitely if it is getting its electrical charge from the electromagnetic fields of the earth. So some believe that your heart is actually a vortex generator. Wow. What if I told you your heart is not a...
That's crazy how long our hearts beat for though, like for years, you know? That's dope, man. It's like a little mini universe right there. It's cool.
Yeah, be careful, y'all. Look.
Yo, that's crazy how they do this.
You see that shit? You see where we at? We on Golden State, yo. Golden State and Shaw. They out here with the shits, look. Over here stealing people's information and shit. Yeah, be careful.
As you can see here, the foot and ankle strength of this guy is a lot. So this is what, connective tissue strength is. As you can see here, the foot and ankle strength of this.
The rule of 100 states that if you spend 100 hours in a year, which is 18 minutes a day, all of us, in any discipline, karate, violin, piano, whatever, if you spend 18 minutes a day, which is 100 hours a year, you'll be better than 95% of the world in that discipline. The rule of 100 states that if you spend 100 hours,
the Codex Gigas, aka the Devil's Bible. Keep in mind, this is a book written in the 13th century. The legend goes that there was a monk known as Herman the Recluse. He was part of a monastery in the Czech Republic. For some reason, he was going to get executed. He said to the monks, if you guys spare my life, I promise I'll write a book with all of earthly knowledge and secrets of the world. He told them, okay, we'll spare your life, but with one condition. You have to write the book in one night.
How long was this book?
Bro, I'm pretty sure it was going to be a long ass book. So the reason why they told him to do it in one night is so he wouldn't make it. So he was like, okay, no problem. He was writing for a little bit. Obviously, he quickly realized that
it's impossible.
He resorted to making a deal with the devil. So he told him, in exchange for my soul, help me write this book in one night. The next day, the book was created. It was this huge ass book. It weighed over 100 pounds. You needed 2 people to carry it.
Damn, what the f?
And it has a lot of illustrations of the devil and shit. And also, they tested it out and they realized that it would take 20 years of continuous writing for them to recreate the book. Like I said, there's no new teachings in it, but there was a point in time where there was a fire wherever it was being kept and shit. They basically tried to rescue it and 10 pages ended up going missing. So what they're saying is that maybe those 10 pages were
something new.
Knowledge that we're not supposed to know about. The Codex Gigas, aka the Devil's.
The harder your journey, the stronger you will become. Every time you struggle because of fear or a lack of knowledge, remember that challenge is simply another step in preparing you to become the person of your dreams. Adversities are a gift. Everyone out here has got it so easy with their simple routines and their holidays and their breaks. They are never gonna reach the heights that you do. Failures only bring lessons. Failures are only here to redirect you onto the correct path. Other people are out here trying to chase the easy life and avoiding failure, so they'll never learn the lessons that you will. You are gonna have knowledge that no one else could even reach because they're not taking the steps to reach there. So next time everything gets hard, remember it's life preparing you for the life that you prayed for.
We live on a realm called Atlantis. We live on a realm called Atlantis. Everything used to be bigger. Everything on the whole planet used to be bigger, not just the animals. Dinosaurs is really like a cover story for our ancestors' giant bones, along with our dragons and shit like that. Like back during the 1800s, a lot of the bones and shit that they were finding, they would just find one little femur bone or something like that and plaster together a whole animal out of their imagination. Like real shit. I'm telling y'all some real shit. We live on a realm called Atlantis.
This mouse accidentally eats a forbidden fruit. The fruit's virus quickly spreads throughout his body. Moments later, the mouse is dead, and moss starts growing on its body, slowly consuming the entire mouse. The moss is growing at an alarming rate between the cracks in the ground, and within hours, the streets are coated with greenery. All the cars and even the skyscrapers are not safe. It started to take over the entire city. 1 week later, all the humans have disappeared, and the earth is much more peaceful. Huge trunks have formed, and the moss has started growing branches, climbing all the way up the building. After a while, the moss takes over every single building in the city. Looking down from the sky, the landscape has turned into a greenish sea. Weird red flowers bloom on the vines, along with black fruits growing inside the flowers. Suddenly, the fruits exploded and all the city's infrastructure starts to crumble. Now the entire continent is influenced by the moss, and then the entire planet turns green. Finally, Earth transforms into the same forbidden fruit because this mouse accidentally eats a forbidden fruit. The fruit's virus quickly spreads throughout his body. Moments later, the mouse...
You won't protect your energy unless you stay away from these 3 people. As a metaphysical guide, these are the type of energy vampires that drain the most. Energy vampires are people who drain others' energy because they have a very weak source of their own energy. And we have all been energy vampires at some point, so when you distance yourself from these people, do it with love and understanding instead of resentment. Number 1, the insecure friend. Yes, everybody's insecure to some degree, but I'm talking about the person who puts themselves above you in situations and conversations, who puts you down in order to feel better about yourself and messes with your self-image, who gets jealous about your accomplishments and so on. Number 2, the victim. Everybody goes through things in life, but these are the people who fall victim to their circumstances. They complain a lot but never take action towards a better life. You can give this person a step-by-step plan to fix their problems, yet they will still victimize themselves to it. Everything is most of the time negative with them and they never take accountability. And in my opinion, these are the people that drain you the most. Number 3, the take but never give friend. This person only hits you up to ask for things but never returns the favor. The more you give, the more they take advantage, whether conscious of it or not. Part of protecting your energy is letting go of what sucks it dry. I'll teach you how to become your best self through spirituality in my free life quantum expansion class. But to save
This is freaking magic, and it should be mainstream news, but of course, a lot of people would lose a lot of money if it was. Have you heard of ozone? Oxygen is 2 molecules of oxygen. Ozone is 3 molecules of oxygen. You have this machine and you have an oxygen tank, and it transverts the oxygen into O3. You can ozonate olive oil, you can ozonate water, you can ozonate coconut oil, and then rub it on your skin. It's a great moisturizer. It helps cellular rejuvenation, microcirculation. It's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, antimicrobial. It's actually been found to cure things like Ebola. This should be common knowledge, but they suppress it, I feel like, because of all the benefits. It heals so many things. This is freaking magic, and it should be mainstream news, but of course, a lot of people would lose a lot of money if it was. Have you heard of ozone? Or oxygen?
You eating anything else other than fruit, you gotta go to the pancreas. Fruits are the only things that you can eat where you don't have to use the pancreas, so you can allow that pancreas to rest, and we can deworm that pancreas and regenerate that pancreas and try our hardest to get the communication back to the pancreas by way of the autonomic nervous system. So that's where I would start at. And then what you would do is you would look up. I'm not an MD, so I can't tell you to take them off the insulin pen. But what you can do is this. You can, if it was me and that was my child, what I would do is I would do exactly what I said, and then you'll start seeing days go by, then weeks go by, he haven't used his insulin pen because he didn't need insulin, because he went a lipid route. Now, what we have noticed though, black seed oil is very, very good to restore the pancreas. It's very good. Cactus powder is very good for the pancreas. Bitter melon is very, very good. It's amazing for the pancreas. These are things that you can start getting them on and putting them on now until you get the package that will start restoring that process. You eating anything else other than fruit, you gotta go to.
That's how you know the gaming industry taking over, bro. They took a Call of Duty map and made it into real life. This Warzone Rebirth Island, and they made it into a real place in real life, actually. Alcatraz and some shit. That shit crazy. That's how you know the gaming industry taking over, bro. They took a Call.
Nope, you're not crazy. That's the Michael Phelps of birds. The puffin, also known as the sea parrot. They are birds, and they are skilled flyers, being able to fly 55 miles an hour. However, unlike most birds, they spend most of their time in water because they're literally built for it. First off, they can dive 300 feet underwater. I should never see wings 300 feet underwater. They're also great at holding their breath, and they can swim 15 feet per second. Sounds like a fish to me, and that's not even the crazy part. Since they spend all their time in water, their whole diet is fish. And they have serrated beaks that can lock fish in place. In other words, it allows them to grab multiple fish in one dive without losing any. Like puffins have been spotted leaving the water with over 60 fish in their mouth at once. Moral of the story, penguins are not the only swimming bird. Puffins are basically fish. And as always, follow for more facts.
Scientists just developed a shape-shifting, programmable, metafluid robot that can be controlled. Yeah, this just happened. And then you have articles that's coming out and saying that it's almost like the T-1000 robot from the Terminator. Yeah, y'all remember how that T-1000 robot escaped the cage off the Terminator?
Well, they recreated that. Scientists have recreated a robot that can shapeshift between solids and liquid states, enabling them to perform mind-boggling features, such as jump climbing and oozing out of cages. And it reminds them of the T-1000 robot. And the shapes of the movement of the machine is controlled by magnetic fields, an approach that might lead to new biomedic and engineering technologies. I swear it's like every day now that this becomes more and more like a reality. First we started seeing Skynet on power lines, then people started recreating robots, and now we got liquid robots, just like the Terminator. Isn't that great? But y'all let me know what y'all think about this liquid robot in the comments though.
I became one of the highest jumpers in the world.
Whoa.
And here's 3 plyometric exercises that I did to get there.
That's insane.
I did these workouts twice a week, and just after 1 month, I was able to see an increase in my explosion and my vertical. I always make sure to give myself rest days because recovery is key. And make sure you like and subscribe for more videos.
This man is about to be eaten.
Leveling with you guys for a second, you absolutely do not want a lion to look at you like this. The clip you guys just watched shows a man tossing a piece of meat into a lion enclosure. But instead of the lion turning around to consume the meat, it continues staring at the man in a very menacing fashion. Now I can't comment on what this lion might be thinking, but this is probably not a good sign. Believe it or not, humans are not always at the top of the food chain. Lion, amongst a few select group of animals, are known to prey on humans. For example, between the years of 1932 to 1947, 3 generations of lions took the lives of around 1,500 people and consumed them. In doing the research for this video, I also found a plethora of readily available YouTube videos that show this exact incident happening. Would not recommend looking those up. So with that being said, if this guy entered the enclosure with a lion looking at him like that, I don't think he'd be walking out. And just to add to that point, this fence looks very flimsy compared to the strength of a lion, so I would bolster that up immediately.
This man is about to be eaten.
Leveling with you guys for a second, you absolutely do.
Yeah, it looked like it was about to go down. The lion looked like he was about to break right through that gate.
How true it was when Akira Toriyama said, "Move well, study well, play well, eat well, rest well. That is the Turtle Master way. Tackle life with as much energy as Goku. I'll try to do the same. There's only one certainty in life. A strong man stands above and conquers all. Nightmares never last. One day you wake up and they're gone. I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. I am protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth. Ally to good. Nightmare to you. On the path of Buddha, one does not strive for victory over an opponent. One strives to avoid defeat by one's own self. You are an incredible being. You gave your best, and that's why I admire you." How true it was when Akira Toriyama said,
5 life hacks with colors you probably never knew about. Writing in blue helps you remember your notes better. 5 life hacks with colors you probably...
School is a violation of the human spirit.
Indeed.
School is a violation of the human spirit. You were not meant to sit in a box and be quiet and be still. And children know that. So they move. That's a violation to do that in school. All of us in this room right now, we can leave here and walk to California. I don't care what kind of medicine you're on. I don't care what kind of condition you're in. The secret is you have to do it at your own pace. The problem is when I'm doing it at somebody else's pace. You might be able to run or walk and average 50, 60 miles a day. I might just do 2 miles a day. The important thing is I get there. That's why the super rich people would never send their children to a school they have private schools where you do it at your pace. This is a game they play. And so they have to have recess or the thing would blow up. School is a violation of the human spirit.
This is how to open your third eye. Visualization, imagination, and creativity. If it's hard for you to visualize things, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to open up your third eye. Now close your eyes, take a deep breath. Now visualize an apple. Now visualize a banana while still holding that apple in your mind. Now visualize a pencil. Now visualize a frog. Now a tree. And then a spoon. Can you visualize all of these images simultaneously? Was it hard for you to maintain those images? If it was easy for you, I would recommend challenging yourself. Throw 3 more images on top of those images, and then 3 more. These are all third eye exercises. Type third eye in the comments, and we'll send you an advanced third eye meditation. This.
Yo, did y'all hear about the cave that they found in Vietnam? It's called the Son Doong cave. They found it, and villagers were talking about how they seen this creature called the seraphim that walked into this cave, right? So the scientists, they went down there to go explore the cave. And I'm gonna talk about the seraphim later on. I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. So when they went into this cave, right, they were able to recognize that this cave was 3 million years old. Not only the cave was 3 million years old, it had its own ancient forest in the cave. It's one of the biggest caves they ever seen, about 40 feet. Now, when they was exploring the cave, they also found water. They didn't find a puddle. They didn't find a stream. They found a damn river. Do you know how big a river is to be able to fit in a cave? So when they found this river, right, they started exploring, seeing what it was, checking it out. They realized that the reason why the forest is like this is because of the sunlight coming in. Not only that, the creatures living in is a reptilian with wings living in those caves.
Jesus.
Yo, did y'all hear about the...
Is this what happens after death?
This is what happens when you die. According to near-death experiences in several religions, the moment after you die, your soul will separate from your body. Your memories will fade as you will be pulled into a dark tunnel and drawn towards a bright light. It is said that within this light, you will sense your deceased loved ones, divine spirits, and an infinite amount of love. But what if you don't go towards that light? In one sacred myth, they say that the light is a trap for the soul set up by demonic forces. These demons, also known as archons, use the light to disguise themselves as your deceased loved ones, gods, and truth in order to draw your soul in. Once you are consumed by the light, they will use several different spiritual tactics to trick you to coming back to Earth. These demons do this because they feed on human suffering, so they need your soul to come back as many times as possible in order to harness and harvest your energy. Most humans fall victim to this soul trap and find themselves becoming a prisoner to the light. And so if you decide not to go towards the light and instead move towards the infinite dark void, you will be freed from the prison of reincarnation and return to your true home.
Guess what? Every trucker out there with an 8th grade education or high school education knows they're likely not to have a job in the next 3, 4, 5 years.
The real riches in life are good health, joy, and being able to love without barriers. The real riches in life.
Okay. So la fait test right? This is a chargeable bulb. Tá bom, ça like right? Ó máa tàn. Oni. On lo tàn.
Oh, go.
So it is true.
Oh, true.
This is the mango tree in the front of my house.
Right.
Okay. So la fait test right?
It's crazy.
This is a chargeable bulb. Tá bom,
A tree is doing this.
Ó máa tàn. Oni.
Wow.
Oni.
And we come on, y'all. Yeah, we gonna figure this thing out mentally, y'all. They ain't gonna keep us down like this forever.
Stop brushing your teeth with Colgate. No, real talk though, if you still brush your teeth with any of these popular toothpaste brands, Crest, etc., then you don't love yourself. These toothpaste brands have so many harmful chemicals in it that when you brush your teeth, everything that goes into your gums goes into your bloodstream. A lot of y'all been trying to get healthy, trying to clean y'all diet, but y'all can't do that if y'all still brushing y'all teeth with Crest and Colgate. I'm not even talking about the fluoride that's in this toothpaste that causes your pineal gland to look like this. You should all know this by now, but your pineal gland taps you into your sixth sense. It allows you to experience things beyond the body. Your pineal gland is open, you have a stronger intuition. You can astral project easier. You have a higher spiritual benefit. They want to close that by any means possible, so they put fluoride in your water and toothpaste. If you don't know what toothpaste to use, I'm about to put y'all on. I've been using the brand Me Natural with that mouth do kit for the last couple months. They make healthy hygiene products with no bad chemicals, all natural herbs. I highly recommend that y'all leave that other BS alone and order this right now. The shipping is fast. They got a lot of good reviews on their page and it's really certified in the health community. Invest in your health. I love y'all. Stop.
Unstoppable you become. They don't want that. They want you small, like an ant. Silly ant being controlled by it.
This is not a cat. That looks like a cat to you.
What is that?
The nigga look like he say,
meow mix. Now. Nigga go by feline.
Not no this is not a cat.
I get to do 60 minutes on the Stairmaster because my legs work, my lungs work. I get to put gas in my car. I get to get glammed up and shoot at a pool. I get to rest on a Friday night in Vegas. I get to sleep with a roof over my head. I got to wake up at 6 a.m. this morning. I get to make healthier food that's going to nourish me at home.
I get to feel feelings other than happiness and joy, but I get to embrace those and learn lessons from them and move on forward with my life. Okay.
I get to have clothing, shoes on my feet, water to drink, food to eat. I get to read.
Gotta show gratitude, yeah, for the little things. For the little things.
As a very straight woman, I believe that men are not attractive until you get to know them. On the opposite end of the spectrum, women are extremely attractive until you get to know them.
True.
As a very straight woman.
My interest in explaining this mystical science of the pineal gland is really thinking of the pineal gland as the brain's radio receiver. And it can only be activated through a certain process. When this latent system switches on, the arousal that's created is energy moving from the body right up into the brain. And that energy rushes all the way up into the pineal gland. The moment that happens, the brain goes into what's called gamma brainwave patterns. They're having a full-on sensory experience without their senses. And whatever's going on between their ears, the vision that they're having, they're not visualizing. It's happening to them. And the person now is literally in a whole nother world. They're in another dimension. That's why the pineal gland is called the third eye, because it's a profound vision. Once the autonomic nervous system switches on and it goes into gamma brainwave patterns, that radio receiver has tiny little calcite crystals, stacked rhombohedrons that are on top of each other. And those crystals begin to shimmer. They begin to oscillate. And now the radio receiver is activated. And when the brain latches on to a frequency, the pineal gland acts as a transducer. And the pineal gland begins to release upgraded versions of melatonin. Melatonin already causes us to dream, but now you're going to really dream. It already causes us interest in explaining this mystical science.
Space travel has existed for 4.4 billion years. The interesting thing about our galaxy is the fact that we have many different races living here. In particular, the human race, which we are a member of. And space travel has existed for 4.4 billion years.
It didn't have a turn radius that we would expect. It didn't have a period to accelerate and decelerate. It just seemed to zip so quickly that it was, again, really disorienting, really confusing for us.
David said it was the WTF moment.
Yeah, there were definitely some WTFs on the radio. Not in a scared way, but like, what the is that? Like we're seeing something for the first time.
You know, some people go, what is that? And they run, and then some people see it, what is that? And they're curious. They want to get closer and closer. I wanted to get closer, see what it was.
My lead, Commander David Fravor, he says I'm in, which means that he's engaging with this thing.
We're going around, we get to about the 12 o'clock position, and this thing's still pointing north-south. The tic-tac goes and turns and starts coming up. So now it's mirroring me. Whatever it was aware that we were there.
And as I come up, I can see him as he's crossing in front of me. It starts to accelerate, gets right on my nose, and disappears. For something to come off the surface of the ocean like it was moving around, to be able to just accelerate to match my speed, and then to rapidly go away, we do not possess that technology.
It didn't have a turn radius.
Pretty sure y'all don't.
These buildings all around here, as I told in class last night, they're ours. They belong to us. They're ancient, these buildings. There's a whole city underneath this city. They went and burned all the major cities, the major energy centers. Our ancestors set up these energy centers that we call Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Atlanta, Detroit, right? Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles. They are energy centers. They're not where they are in huge, large cities just because of some coincidence. There's energy and power in these places. London, Rio de Janeiro. These buildings all around here.
The fourth leading cause of death for all humans is respiratory infections. That's the fourth leading cause of death. And when you start to think about it in the grand scheme of things, we don't eat healthy, right? We stress, we're dehydrated, we don't sleep enough, we don't build immunity anymore, because how you build immunity is when a baby comes out through the vaginal canal, it's like getting a swab of good bacteria. That's the first exposure to good bacteria to go inside of their body and start building immunity. Most people have C-sections now. The second way we introduce immunity to the body is through nursing, breastfeeding. Most people don't breastfeed anymore. The other way we get it is through germ immunity, meaning playing in the dirt, playing with other kids. Most kids don't play anymore and go outside anymore. The fourth leading cause of death for
This is how you actually do shadow work. The path to evolution is a path of healing achieved through shadow work. If you don't know what shadow work is, it is the practice of healing by shedding light on your shadow, the parts of yourself that you don't love and have repressed due to trauma. And this is how to do shadow work and shed the layers holding you back. Hi, I'm Ira. I help you align with your best self through the metaphysical. And for spiritual training, come in Circle 77. Time and space are human constructs that don't actually exist. Trauma experienced in the first 7 years of your life create a negative distortion in your conscious timeline. And energetically, this distortion keeps bringing you back to that traumatic moment, since past, present, and future all happening simultaneously. This means that you will keep repeating old patterns caused by your shadow if you don't go address and heal this trauma. And the first 7 years of your life create the subconscious mind, which creates your reality. And we can go back in time, not physically, but with our consciousness and vibration. My memory regression method uses your negative emotions to reach the core memory and reprogram the subconscious mind. Going back in time is essential for shadow work, allowing us to reprogram the memories that created our shadow aspects and remove the energetic distortions in our timeline. And this is something I teach in my Metaphysical Academy for those who really want to align with your highest potential through the supernatural power of your mind. So come in Circle 77 for training. This is how you actually
I asked the water, do you know who I am? Then I froze the water and I was flabbergasted because there was this VA in the ice. My name is Veda Austin. The actual initials of my name were linked in the exact same way that I link my initials naturally. I have used all kinds of words. I wrote the word angel, and this beautiful angel formed in the shape of a woman with these wings. I drew the number 4. And I got the number 4 in the ice.
Water is so malleable, it takes in all perceptions. We know things like thoughts, they create frequencies, literally. We can see this with modern scientific devices. Our thoughts create frequencies, and water is a recorder of frequency. So it makes so much sense that what we think and say consciously to the water is actually going to impact it a lot.
Alright, y'all. That's gonna do it for today's video. In a peace, abundance, prosperity, and good healthy way. Make sure you take care of yourself. I'll see you guys in the next upload. Peace.